Okay, now we are going to solve quadratic equations of the type x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. To solve them, first we are going to factorize these equations, and then we are going to use the zero product property. Now remember, we learned this property in chapter 8.2, which was the last chapter. Let's recall this property. According to this, if we have two numbers and if you multiply them, if we get 0, then we say either a is 0 or b is 0. So let's have an example. Okay. Now we have x squared plus 3x minus 18 equals 0. Now first, we are going to factorize the quadratic expression part. Now, I'm going to think of two numbers such that when I multiply I will get minus 18. So, this means one of my numbers should be negative. So, if I think of 3 and 6, and if I get 3 as a minus 3, when I multiply them, I get minus 18. Now let's check if I can get plus 3 when I add them. Well, yes, minus 3 plus 6 gives us 3. So, these are my numbers, hence I can rewrite this equation as x minus 3 times x plus 6 equals 0. Now is the time to use the zero product property. Now, according to that, either x minus 3 is 0 or x plus 6 is 0. Now I have to solve these two equations to find the value of x. In this one, if I take minus 3 to the other side, I will have x to be 3, because when I change the side, I change the sign. And on the other one, if I change 6 to the other side, I will get x equals minus 6. So these are my solutions. Now, to check my answer, I always do substitution. Now I have to substitute these two values into the equation so that we will check if it's true or not. So you can either substitute here or in the factored form. But it's easier if you substitute in the factored form. So for x equals 3, in the factored form it will be 3 minus 3 times 3 plus 6. Well, we're checking this if it's equal to 0 or not. Well, 3 minus 3 is 0, times 3 plus 6 is 9. So 0 times 9 is 0. So my answer is correct. Okay, I'm going to check now x equals minus 6 in the original equation to show that both checking property works. Now, for x equals minus 6, I will have minus 6 squared plus 3 times minus 6 minus 18, which should be equal to 0. Minus 6 squared is 36. 3 times minus 6 is minus 18. Minus 18. So you see, 36 minus 18 is 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. So I have 0 equals 0, which says that my answer is correct. So you can check your answer either in the original equation given or in the factored form that you have just found. Now let's have another example. Now we have z squared minus 3z equals 70. Now keep in mind, if your quadratic equation is not equal to 0, then you should equate it to 0. How? You're going to get 70 in this case to the other side. So it will be z squared minus 3z minus 70 equals 0. Now you can start factorization and then solving equation. Now I will have to think two numbers such that when I multiply I will get minus 70. So if I think of 7 and 10, when I multiply I get 70. To get minus 70 I can use minus 7 times 10, but you see minus 7 plus 10 gives you 3, not minus 3. So I'm going to change my number to 7 times minus 10. In this case I'm going to get 7 minus 10, so I'm going to get minus 3. So 7 and minus 10 are my numbers, hence I'm going to write this quadratic expression as z plus 7 times z minus 10 equals 0. Now I'm going to use the zero product property, which says either z plus 7 is 0 or z minus 10 is 0. So if I take 7 to the other side, I will get z to be minus 7. This is one of the values. And if I take minus 10 to the other side, I will get z to be 10. So to check my answer, I should substitute these two values into the equation itself. Okay, let's check our answer. Now, for z equals minus 7, I have minus 7 squared minus 3 times minus 7 equals 70. We are going to check if it's equal to 70 or not. Now, minus 7 squared is 49. Minus 3 times minus 7 is plus 21. So together they make 70. So my answer is correct. Now let's check for z equals 10. Now this time it will be 10 squared minus 3 times 10 equals 70. We don't know yet. 10 squared is 100. 3 times 10 is 30. So 100 minus 30 is 70, which makes my answer correct. Okay, now start solving these equations and show me.